Hi, welcome to Deep Recaps. Today's film is the surrealist French horror art piece, Titane. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and enjoy the drive. The movie begins with a claustrophobic abstract scene. We are shown various close-ups of the undercarriage of a car. This kid is trash and insists on taking her boredom out on her father. It results almost immediately in a horrible accident. We jump to a hospital where the child, a girl named Alexia, is being tested for neurological oddities following an intensive operation. They have placed a titanium plate in her head. Upon leaving the hospital, she immediately heads for the vehicle that they crashed in and demonstrates a bizarre fondness for the hunk of metal. Cut years into the future, Alexia, now a young adult, is attending an expo for cars and, apparently, strippers. It's hard to tell which is more sexualized, the cars or the dancers. Probably the dancers. Later, in the shower, a girl named Justine introduces herself. She drops the soap, and you know what happens when you drop the soap. That's right, your hair gets stuck in the other person's nipple ring. Outside the expo, Alexia gives a fan the most low-effort autograph I've ever seen in my life. It is then revealed that she is being followed to her car. The creep just wants an autograph, but also, he wants a kiss. But also, he wants to profess his love. This is the kind of forwardness that only exists in France. Oh, wait, he's taking it a little too far. But she's into it? This is bizarre. Immediately, it gets weirder still, as Alexia pulls the pin from her hair and stabs the man with it. Honestly, it's about time we saw karma take its toll on a stalker. Alexia pulls the body into her car. She places the pin back in her hair, and she gets back into the shower. Suddenly, there is an impossibly heavy banging at the door, and she leaves the shower, fully exposed and vulnerable, to answer it. Her vehicle sits innocently in the garage, its headlights mysteriously, even seductively, glowing. What follows is perhaps too strange to explain, but let's just say, I think they did it. She awakens the next morning with a number of bruises on her legs. Or is that oil? A story on the news highlights a boy that's been missing for 10 years. Alexia's father arrives, and the two proceed to share a wordless meal. The news transitions to a story of a potential serial killer in the area. Alexia then meets Justine, the girl from before. She creeps her out, then runs off to the water's edge to vomit. She notices that her stomach is enlarged, and there is oil in her shorts yet again. Back at home, she takes a pregnancy test, which reads positive. While cuddling on the couch with Justine, she withdraws the pin from her hair again, and without warning, kills her with it. A man then comes down the stairs. She didn't realize that Justine had roommates, and has no choice but to get rid of him as well. The roommates keep showing up, and Alexia keeps taking them down. Alexia returns home, exhausted, and her father stands at the window with a cigarette, watching her knowingly. Whatever twisted game she is playing, it seems Daddy is privy to it. Alexia proceeds to set fire to an armful of clothing. She goes into the house, locks her father into his own bedroom, and heads outside to hitchhike. She falls asleep in the car, and the man soon boots her back out at a bus station. Inside, she passes a sign pertaining to the missing boy from the news earlier. She doubles back, and the sign clicks over to a wanted poster with Alexia's face on it. She quickly moves along, enters a bathroom, and cuts her own hair. She shaves off her eyebrows and tapes her chest to change her appearance as much as possible. If she's trying to look less sketchy, she's doing a terrible job. She then breaks her own nose after multiple attempts, begging the question, is this really necessary? Congratulations, Alexia. You now look about as insane as you are. We shift scenes to a police station, where a man has been brought in to identify his son. The blinds are raised, and that's not a boy, that's a psychopath. Yet, the guy nods and takes her with him. Teary-eyed, he pulls into a gas station and asks why she won't say anything. Is this guy actually convinced that this mutant girl is his long-lost son? She exits the car suddenly and tries to run, but the man pursues and soon catches her. Upon returning home, a boy named Rayon calls the man Captain and gives him some food. Captain introduces Alexia as his son, Adrien. Rayan insists that she call him Conscience. The man dismisses him. Inside, Alexia notices that her stomach has grown further. Her father enters abruptly, demanding she undress for bed, but she kicks him away. The man heads to the bathroom, where he injects himself with something sus before his workout. He's not very good at pull-ups, and he knows it. The next morning, the captain applies a brace to Alexia's broken nose and shaves some more of her hair, and then gives her a stupid hat. Somehow she looks even stranger than she did before. Her transformation into a goblin is halfway complete. Later, at the fire station, the captain introduces his son to the squad. He tells the squad that he is God, and therefore, his goblin serial killer son is Jesus. We now see the squad at work, taking down a fire. Inside the burning building, the captain sees what appears to be a small human burning up. But the fire is revealed to be a simulation, so the captain must just be nuts. And until now, he seemed so normal. At dinner, he yells at his fake son to be more normal. Alexia leaves the table and withdraws her murderous hairpin, but the captain begins dancing like a lunatic, so she calms down. They dance together, and we as an audience disappear ever further down this insane rabbit hole of confusion and unease. The dance begins to get aggressive, and Alexia unsheathes the pin, but her insanity is nothing compared to the captain's. After this traditional family argument over dinner, she goes to bed. The captain drinks some wine, swallows some pills, and administers his evening injection. He thinks for a moment, then doubles the dose. No pull-ups for Dad tonight. Alexia boards a bus, followed by a group of hooligans who begin twerking. They catcall the girl next to Alexia, who looks to her for help. The bus then pulls away from the station, and it is revealed Alexia has disembarked. I wonder if there will be a scene in this film that isn't ridiculously dark. Alexia returns to the captain's home to find him unconscious in the bathroom. She considers stabbing him with her stabby pin, but decides against it. Instead, she shaves off some more of her hair. She is now 75% goblin. She attempts to awaken the orc, but fails. The next morning, Alexia tries on some clothes in an attempt to figure out how it is possible to look more absurd. The captain comes home and she ducks into a closet. He finds her, laughs at her, and sits her down. He shows her pictures of his son from before he went missing, wearing the same dress. He is somehow more convinced than ever that the goblin is his offspring. The fire squad answers a distress call where they find an unconscious man. As they attempt to resuscitate him, the woman who placed the call also passes out, and Alexia is forced to help. They sing the Macarena together and bring both people back to life. This is not a joke. This is what happens in this scene. Afterwards, Conscience sees Alexia's wanted poster on his phone. He seems to know that it's her. He asks where she's from, and she gives him a goblin grin. That night, the fire squad gets crunk. Amidst a neon bath of dancing cronies, the captain finds momentary bliss. Say what you will, but writer-director Julia Ducournau knows how to paint a portrait of life. Conscience then attempts to inform the captain of the truth about his son, but the captain doesn't want to hear it. He is clearly grieving, clearly aware that she is not his son after all. Conscience tells Alexia to get lost, but she dances with Dad instead. The next day, Alexia is introduced to her supposed mother. The mother seems to know that this is not her son, but plays along in similar fashion. Over dinner, Mom asks the captain how he can stand to live in the same house they lost their son in. The captain dismisses Alexia, then insists he is keeping the boy. Mom says she doesn't want him anyway. In her room, Alexia scratches at her stomach and finds a pool of oil inside. The mother enters to find her in this bizarre state and threatens her. She knows that Alexia isn't her long-lost son, but she wants her to at least take care of the captain. Alexia later walks in on the captain injecting himself with the unknown substance, and he asks her to assist him, which she begrudgingly does. He then sits her down and, shaves her face. Moving on, the fire squad is out in the woods, moving around like they're in the trenches. The captain grows dizzy, and Conscience begins grilling him about his condition. They discover an RV among the flames, and the captain asks Conscience to hold on to a tank of some sort. Alexia waits in the fire truck at a distance, where she witnesses a sudden explosion. Back in the forest, the captain removes his helmet and rushes over to a seemingly dead Conscience. Alexia stands in the shower the following morning, oil flowing freely from her body. As she again tapes her stomach, the captain enters. He tells her he doesn't care who she really is. She will always be his son. Alexia says sure, works for me. The squad is getting crunk again. This time, it's a shirtless techno mosh pit. Surely, this is some sort of commentary on masculinity. I don't get it, but it's artsy. Alexia joins the mosh pit, clearly not caring for the safety of her car baby. Through the crowd, she catches a momentary glimpse of the ghost of Conscience. Then, the firemen hoist her atop a truck and cheer her on. She begins to do a goblin dance, the dance of her people, and the squad is confused. The captain arrives, and the goblin dance continues. The captain is confused too. Later, Alexia gets it on with another vehicle, while the captain broods in his room. Alexia appears to be giving birth, and the captain literally lights himself on fire. He half-heartedly attempts to put himself out as the car-goblin hybrid baby begins to emerge. Alexia emerges into the dawn light, then trundles on down a hallway that is probably meant to metaphorically represent the trauma of her past or some shit. At this point, I've got absolutely no idea what we're doing here. She enters the captain's room, the first signs of a mustache beginning to show on her upper lip. They confess to loving one another, and then they kiss, completing the nightmarish cycle of jaw-dropping depravity. And as the captain gets up to flee, Alexia's condition worsens. She vomits oil. The captain seems to process what's happening and assists his fake son in giving birth to a car. He peers down at the baby, tears in his eyes, and then calls her by her name, Alexia. How did he... Wait a second. She begins to slip into unconsciousness, and he gives her CPR, but it is too late. She is now 100% goblin and 100% dead. The captain is now alone with the baby. He hoists it aloft. He sits with it in the gloom. He removes the blanket to reveal a baby that appears to have a metallic spinal cord. Roll credits. I don't know, guys. If nothing else, Titane stands as a testament to the fact that no matter how outlandish your concept is, strong direction and commitment to the vision can land absolutely anything a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, regardless of how delirious or disturbing it may be. I think this is the last time I recap an R-rated film for a while. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this fever dream. Subscribe for more such fever dreams. Turn on notifications to be sure you're the first to see the new fever dreams. And have yourselves a wonderful night. See you next time.